Well, my next guest knows all too well about operating in a risky environment. His company, DTEK, is the largest private power supplier in Ukraine, and their operations have been under fire from Russia for more than 2 years. Maxim Timchenko, welcome to Talking Business. And let me start first of all with how things are right now. How are your operations? How is the business?
Now it's absolute focus for all of us to get prepared for the coming winter. And that we spent 7 months after massive attacks of Russians, and probably heard that from April this year, it was 5 waves of attacks of our infrastructure, mostly thermal power stations, and they managed to destroy about 50% of our generation in Ukraine. So of course we put all efforts, all our resources to be ready for the coming winter. And basically that's our focus. The heating season is coming, and we've done everything possible to have enough generation capacity for the coming winter.
Now, winter approaching is a huge challenge for any energy company, but especially for you. How do you prepare for the cold weather when you're under attack from Russian missiles? What is it that you are up against on a day-to-day basis?
I can say that all possible corporate risks for the company relies in our case. So we have all these challenges, and the major challenge is to bring all people, motivate people to work hard to be prepared. When they destroy, we restore. They destroy again, we restore it again. And unity in Ukraine and leadership of Ministry of Energy help us to bring people, to bring equipment, to bring all support we get in from other countries, and make this installation and recovery, connect to the grid and have a result. So the most difficult for us is to find all resources we need to restore all this capacity after such a dramatic damage Russians brought to us.
What is the most difficult thing for you to tackle right now? Do you have everything you need? I'm thinking about the equipment, the supplies, the resources, because you've touched on the physical elements of it, getting what you need, but also how do you motivate your staff to do the same job time and time again as things are destroyed and you have to rebuild, and rebuild?
Of course, if you see the images of destruction, it's hard to believe that it can be restored. But what we've done, and again, coming back to unity among energy companies, Ukraine. So we take pieces of equipment from one power station and move to other. We coordinate with our colleagues. One of our power stations close to Russian border, we had to stop it because it's very close to military front line, and dismantle most of equipment and move it to the west of Ukraine and install it there. Then we visited many European countries and getting equipment from decommissioning coal power station and bring them back to Ukraine. So again, it's all concentrated in the hands of Ministry of Energy, and personally, Ministry of Energy is involved in this process. They coordinate and we work together so that we share this equipment among us. So of course we need financial support, and we receive a support from USAID, from agency of US government, from European Union, from United Kingdom. So from all our allies, we receiving financial support in form of equipment, and that helps us a lot to be ready and to be resistant and to have confidence that we'll go through the next winter.
Do you have all the staff that you need to maintain your operations? Because of course a war is going on. A lot of your staff have been called up to fight in that war.
So DTEK is a group of companies, and we operate in different segments: in thermal generation, in coal mining, in gas production, in power distribution. And we accumulated all the resources, all people to work on this task. Today, we have more than 1,000 people working for restoration of our power units and power equipment. And of course, people want to see that their power station is connected to grid and operational. again, because it's the whole life of these people around power station and their families and generations. And of course, people come and say, please call us to do whatever work you need. Clear the sites, build the roofs, do engineering work, connect it to the grid. And we bring resources. Our coal miners working at power station to cleaning the sites after airstrike. Our engineers coming from distribution companies coming to power station to connect power station to the grid. So this is the way how we cope with all these challenges.
You talked too about some of those power plants that are near or on the front line. There is concern, isn't there, particularly about the nuclear plants and whether they are at risk. How much of a concern is that for you right now? Are you able to mitigate some of those risks by moving some of the more dangerous components away from the front line?
Our nuclear facilities and nuclear power plants is the foundation of the whole energy of Ukraine. And, I can say that our nuclear company doing great job under these circumstances, have enough capacity, go through repairs campaign and get all these facilities ready for the winter. But of course, it's primary target for Russians, because what they're doing, they're trying to disconnect nuclear power station from the grid. And in this case, we rely a lot on our air defense forces. And a lot of attention to this, especially over the last weeks. It's publicly stated by our president, by our Minister of Energy, so that we need protection. And I think that we can cope with this challenge as well. So we've done, and our colleagues in nuclear company, they've done their job. Make sure that all nuclear power units operational for the coming winter. Now we rely a lot on our air defense forces and our partners, that we have enough air defense systems and ammunition to protect this power station against attacks.
Now, Maxim, I spoke to you just after the war broke out, and you talked about the challenges you were facing then. Here we are entering its third year of war. Did you ever think that this war could go on for so long and you would still be facing these sorts of challenges?
My opinion that you can never be prepared for the war, physically or even mentally. But you shouldn't just think every day when this war over. You have to fight, and stronger you are, more resistant, then sooner this war will be over. So now our company become fighters, and we call it Energy Front, and we are fighting for 2.5 years. DTEK, other companies, our Minister of Energy, of our government, we're all fighting. And as I said, as stronger we are, sooner this war will be over.
Does that make you essentially the general of that unit, that you are in charge of these men, you are in charge of your workforce? And I wonder what that means for you. How do you stay motivated faced with all those challenges every day? How do you run an organization and a team of people in a war?
You have a purpose. You're fighting for such important things, like your people, your children, your future, and not only Ukraine, also for the future of European countries. And having this mission in mind, you shouldn't do a lot to motivate yourself. You have a mission. And in some sense, for Ukrainian people and for people working in energy industry especially, it's historical mission. Because without electricity, we will not exist. So we will be fighting as much as it's necessary to protect ourselves, to protect our partners, and to deliver our mission. Keep lights on.
Maxim Timchenko of DTEK, thank you for being with us on the program once again. We're grateful for your time.
Thank you very much.